Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers because the dude's kind of a nut.
Think about it. Don't you think Makhachev spars with welterweights on a regular basis? Of course he does. Do you think he tells himself, hey, I got really beat up by these welterweights that are fighting at the world-class level, and I think I should move up to welterweight? No, he's not thinking that. He's for sure doing really well against welterweight, world-class welterweights in the practice room. He's doing very well. He's dominating. And he's telling himself, hey, maybe I'll be even better at welterweight. Why? I'm killing myself making 155, and when I make 155 and I rehydrate, I'm not 100%.
You know, from 45 to 55, when I made the switch, it didn't feel like guys were a whole lot bigger and a whole lot stronger. I didn't really notice it. That's a 10-pound jump. You know, maybe a 15-pound jump from 55 to 70 is a little bit different. I'm not sure. But the thing is, Islam isn't a small guy. He is big. You know, I'm not sure how big Jack is. I've never seen him in person. But I don't think Islam's going to be undersized when they face off, you know. I don't think it's going to be about the size. To me, it's going to come down to the execution. If Islam can secure the takedowns, Jack's takedown defense, his get-ups, I think that's going to be the story of the fight. I don't think size is going to be the story of this fight.
Obviously going to be a great matchup. Islam pound for pound on absolute tear. Very, very interesting fight. Him moving up. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's moving up. I think he's pretty much a welterweight anyway. So I don't think the size is going to be that crazy of a problem for him in the grappling part because he's such a good grappler and I think he's strong enough. Will the size play a factor with guys with heavier hands, bigger guys in the striking that want to pressure? Is that going to play more of a factor if you're not getting the takedowns? Does that, you know, make you panic shoot a little more and things like that? Does that change things? Does that make you a little more frantic if things aren't going your way? Because he's got a great striking as well. But is he going to be like, oh, I don't want to be here at all and just get real, not panicky? Because I don't think he would panic. He's obviously a composed fighter. But does that change things up? The size in the feet, in the striking department, him moving up, is that where it plays a part? Where a lot of people probably don't get what I'm saying. They're thinking, what are you talking about? It's the weight, you know, with the grappling, blah, blah, blah. That's not going to be a problem for him because he's an elite grappler. He trains with bigger guys all the time.
This is gonna be more so in preparation. He's been preparing for 10, almost 11 months. He's been putting the weight on properly. He's really been taking care of his nutrition. He's been trying to keep the weight on, to be honest, throughout. You know, he's sleeping. He goes to bed, you know, say 193, 194, and he wakes up, you know, 186.
Yeah.
Because he's just, you know how it is.
Floating a lot of weight. Yeah.
You're floating a lot of weight in the middle of the night that you don't realize. And I had some very similar situations happen to me throughout my career. In this situation, I don't want to say he's going to be at a weight deficit. It might be a little bit, a couple pounds. I'd say 3, maybe 4 pounds. So yeah, there will be a weight deficit, but it won't be as much as I believe people think.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to who can implement their game plan. That's really what it is.
He's the best Islam. If Islam right now fought the old Islam, we beat him in the first round. He's big, he's strong, he's healthy, he's happy, he's not suffering cutting weight, and he's very, very strong. He make everyone feel like an amateur.
Oh, 100%. And I think that, you know, this is that folklore of Islam that I've heard about for so long. When Ali came to the gym years ago saying, wait till you see this kid perform. He's beating up guys at 185, you know, and everything else. So the weight class, the weight jump, to me, I think this is perfect for his body type and his style, his size.
Yeah, he was basically, he'd walk into training camp around 179, 180, you know, and this camp here, he came in about 190, 191, you know, so it's 10 pounds heavier. But you got to remember, you know, there's a big difference between 155 and 170. That's a 15-pound difference. So he has 5 pounds less to lose on this one than the last one. So, you know, that could very well be why he's stronger, you know, this camp, because he didn't have as much to lose, you know. But still, I think, you know, for a 170, I think he's not a bad 170. We walk around 190, you know, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's beefed up, isn't he? But I expected him to be. Like, he's emaciated at 155. I think most people are making a thing about it, like, you know, the creatine thing. I think that's why it's a big deal. Oh, I just started taking creatine and now I'm enormous. he has to make up for height differences and stuff with size. Sure, like look at, I know Khabib is not competing now, but he looked completely different on fight night than he did when he was fighting. I think this is just a natural thing to expect when a lad is moving up from 155 up to a new division. He has to make up for it somehow, and it was going to have to be size. It's not like he can just add 3 inches of height to his size in general, you know what I mean? But definitely substantial man. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I don't take a whole lot into the creatine thing. I've been using creatine for my whole career, and you know, it's not like a super drug that's going to change something overnight. It's going to help with your muscle recovery. It's going to help with putting on a little bit of muscle, healing your muscle. It's going to help with your brain, but it's not going to be something crazy. It's crazy to me that it's more crazy to me that he hasn't used it ever as a professional athlete.
I'm sure JDM is going to do his work, his preparation to come in and try to win that fight for sure. But yeah, you don't underestimate it, guys. He might be small, but that gives him, more endurance now that he's not cutting all that weight. So yeah, and it's fighting. Fighting doesn't matter if you're a smaller guy or a bigger guy. The only place it really matters is if you're grappling and someone's laying on you and just putting all their weight on you. So I don't think that's going to be a factor.
I really don't know which side of the coin I fall on in this fight. On one hand, the guy, Islam, is going to be bigger and more muscular and carrying more weight than he ever has before. And it's not like he had some insane Marab-like gas tank to begin with. He gets a little tired. It's not bad, but he gets a little tired. And you're going to add to that by putting weight on a guy. And you're going to add to it by a guy fighting bigger guys than he's used to fighting in a 5-round fight. Like, those are all negatives. But on the flip side, you're talking about a man who has notoriously some of the worst weight cuts that we've seen at 155, right?
I think Islam this is the perfect weight class for him. He's still going to struggle a tiny bit with the cut, but nowhere near the 55. I want people to understand, these guys would start cutting weight their last 2 weeks just to make 55. They're dieting down. They're doing Epsom salt bath. Like on the Monday before the fight, they start doing Epsom salt baths then.
That's crazy to do it that early.
They're doing it that early.
So they're just dehydrated for a week?
They're just dehydrating themselves, and then what they do is they eat a little bit, they drink a little bit, and then they lose another pound or two. They eat a little bit, drink a little bit, lose another pound or two. Like, they just do it in days, so it doesn't affect them as much throughout the week. It's just a whole week of being miserable.
Well, every fight camp has been really good with Islam. He's been great every fight camp, but I have to admit, this one, he's eclipsed all his other training camps as far as being ready physically, mentally, everything. This one eclipses every one of them, and this is the one he's going to need it for also. So it's probably a good thing, right, that we're the best we've ever been going into the toughest challenge we probably have ever faced. I can't say anything other than I've never seen them look this good.
I don't think Makhachev is going to be a small welterweight. I think he's going to be a regular size welterweight. I think he was a huge lightweight. I don't know how he makes the weight. I've stood next to him. I've met him in person. He's a very big guy. How does he make the weight at 155? I don't know.
But we've seen history with Islam. If he has the full 36 hours to recover, which the commissions are now implementing, I believe that he is going to be he'll be fantastic. He's been fantastic at 155 when he's had the full time to recover. This time around, he didn't have to cut as much weight. He's walking around 91, maybe 92, getting down to 70. He's going to be a breeze.
I've never witnessed him being this strong, this mentally prepared, and this hungry. He's this hungry. So I know what I have, and we have a hell of a challenger for that welterweight title, and I really strongly believe that we're going to take that title. But it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy, But we have to respect Jack immensely in order to be able to do that. If we don't respect him, I think we can run into problems. But the problem with respecting him, everybody in our camp respects him immensely. So I think we're well on the right track.
Camp more hard because I changed all my sparring partners. Not all, but some of them I changed. Now they become heavy, and I start the camp like 3 months before the fight because I have to gain weight, to feel how is it and it was like long camp. First camp, I just focused to do some weights, to gain weight. I did like 3 weeks camp, and after that we moved to Dubai and we did a lot of like sparrings, wrestlings, like more conditions, And now we in New Jersey, and I have my sparring partner who like can do like similar like JDM. I have one of them, Mohamed Berhamov. He have good boxings, and also he defends very good wrestling. Like his style like some similar like JDM, and.
I mean, a fight's a fight, and I think the one area where being a bigger guy might have played a factor is in the grappling exchanges if you were trying to weaponize it. And that's not primarily something that Jack tries to weaponize. It's his grappling and his takedowns. And so I don't think it's going to be that big of a factor. First and foremost, Islam is a big guy. Islam, I feel, has the frame of a welterweight. He's always kind of had that. And so I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue for him. But it's a fight. It's a fight. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But they're both going to weigh in at 170. That's good enough for anyone. And we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it. Fingers crossed.